Hi everybody, it's Laura from Day by Day in Our World, and I'm here with Jay. He's a farmer in southern New Mexico, and we're going to talk a little bit about agriculture and learning and education, but we're going to start off with his story because he was homeschooled for a number of years.
Yeah, so growing up, my whole farm life is a little interesting compared to most. I grew up on what you would call like the perfect suburban farm. We had 10 acres, a couple of cows, a horse, but my family wasn't deriving their income from agriculture. I went to public school and private school when I was in elementary, and then my mom actually pulled me from elementary school in 5th grade, and I was homeschooled. And that's kind of the start. You know, I tell everybody my story starts in the sandbox behind the house. Well, being homeschooled put me in the sandbox, gave me a little bit of extra time to spend outside and really start to, no play on words, but cultivate my passion for agriculture. And so I was homeschooled from 5th grade all the way through the start of my 9th grade year.
Okay. Was it a hard transition when you came home initially?
What really made it easy for me is our neighbors actually have a large family, and they were homeschooled, and so it really kind of helped.
Built-in play
Yeah,
dates.
Exactly. So the fact that recess could last 4 hours on a ditch bank instead of 30 minutes on a playground, that was something that was really key to the transition. But very active. We did a lot of field trips. My mom always kept me out moving around.
And you didn't have a hard time transitioning to high school?
No, high school was a really easy transition.
That's great. So, how did you decide to become a farmer? So was it from being at home all that time and you're out?
Yeah,
working?
So where I live, we're surrounded by large agriculture, and I just can remember, during corn season, watching all of this large equipment come in and harvest corn, and I was thinking, golly, I would love to operate some of that machinery, and that slowly started to kindle that fire. And then by the age of 16, I was just begging my dad. I said, I need to do something in agriculture, and he said, well, you need to go to school. I think he kind of had a different route planned for me. But we actually moved in a direction that he said, you know what, you write out a business plan, and you grow the crop and you sell the crop, and if you can get it done, then we'll look at it. And that was kind of the springboard that catapulted me into the ag industry.
So did you end up going to college like your dad wanted?
I did. I went to college. I took my sweet time in college. I'm the kind of person, it's funny because everybody says the American dream, and not to get sidetracked, but everybody says the American dream is for you to grow up with good education and then go to college and
Right.
you go in better society. Well, there's some people like me that I wasn't built for college. I went because my parents had asked me to go, but I work with my hands more than I work with something. I don't want to say my brain, but I work with my hands more than I would most people. And I'm a hands-on person. This world
Well,
needs
it's
farmers and
an
farmers.
industry that you don't have to go to college for.
No, you don't. And there was some extremely vital parts of college that I learned some stuff on the agronomy side that I still wouldn't know, but that did help.
Awesome. So what are some of the challenges you have as a farmer today compared to when people were farming decades ago?
I would say without a doubt debt. The amount of debt that we live in, it's debt service is farming. And so, if I need a new tractor and it's a medium-sized workhorse tractor, I'm going to spend over $100,000 on it. You look at seed costs, you look at fertilizer inputs, you look at, all of these things add up. But if you're not able to stay with the times and adapt to new technologies, and that being seed or equipment or market trends, you won't make it. And so you have to keep moving this ball of financial burden with you.
Right.
Which it's kind of the ugly monster in the room, but at the same time, I know that, when God put me on this earth, that I was meant to be a farmer. That's where I've always wanted to be. And no matter how I had to get to where I am today, be it debt or, any other source to get where I am, I'm willing to accept it and use it.
So how do you decide, what are you growing now and how did you decide to grow those crops?
So we grow a mix. We always say the fingers and toes, and I run out of fingers and toes. So we do cabbage, lettuce, onions, corn, pecans, beef, pinto beans, actually into looking into the whole shrimp world now. We're partnering with some people on New Mexico shrimp. Just anything and everything. I'm willing to try something once. If it's got, and just, as my dad kind of started with me, as long as we look at a business plan and it seems halfway viable, I'm willing to take a gamble on it. We've recently got into the seed business where we do grow commercial blocks of seed for some bigger companies. There's some things we've grown in the past that I know that they're not profitable, and we probably won't go back down that road, but it's trial and error. I'll try it once at least.
So how do you approach, New Mexico's not a land of plenty water.
No.
So how do you approach growing in more drought-like conditions?
So, and we always, and not to take anything away from the poor families in California that are going through a drought, but New Mexico, this is year 18 of our drought. So I kind of grew up farming in a time of little to no water. What we're having to do is be extremely open to new ideas. My parents have been to Israel and looked at systems that they've implemented over there, and we've actually brought that technology home and dealing with our local drip dealer. And we're using different types of low water usage sprinklers or subsurface drip irrigation, trying to mitigate risk as far as carrying water from a well to the crop. We want it to go straight to the root system instead of wasting it in a furrow or things like that.
So if there are kids out there, they're like, wow, this is kind of neat, I want to learn more about farming, then where can they go? Or where can, if it's a homeschool parent or a teacher, where can they go to help the kids learn?
Farm Bureau does a lot as far as having resources for people to actually just get on, American Farm Bureau. You can get on their website. Look at your state Farm Bureau. New Mexico Farm Bureau has a great website. And then two, find a farmer that's willing to talk. I think that's a lot of it now as farmers, as we're starting to really adapt to new technologies and move. We'd kind of let the whole social side go by, and we didn't do a good job of educating or at least sharing our story. And so I think we're starting to do a little bit better job of that. So find a farmer. You're always welcome to follow me as well, and I'm always open to questions.
And you can mention where it is, where you're from.
So we're in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Our website is hillfarmsnm.com, and then you can find me on Facebook, Hill Farms NM, or Snapchat, Hill HILLJAY 45, and the same with Instagram.
Awesome. Well, thanks very much, Jane.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.